Oh, I didn't see you there. Welcome to the Free to Play podcast. It's a very special occasion, boys. Breaking out the trophy mug because today the PlayStation 5 has been out for a few days. I was waiting for Andrew to go ballistic.
Whoa, yeah! Alright, there you go, man.
The
Glad I could
PlayStation
be of service.
PlayStation 5 is launched, boys. We made it. We did it, gamers. Crack out your
good.
game fuel, your water. I don't know. I got Dr. Pepper in this trophy glass.
I got pink lemonade.
Crack out that pink lemonade, Andrew. This is a special moment.
Yeah, you know it.
Before we get to that, I have a serious matter to discuss. Andrew, can you put your serious hat on for a moment?
Yeah, hold on. I gotta take my hair clip out because it gets in the way.
Okay.
Hold on. Okay. Gotta move my headphones so I can put the hat on. Alright, the serious hat has been placed on.
Alright. I have my serious hat on. So, we need to talk about...
You just have a fucking hoodie.
My serious hat's under the hoodie.
I see your hair. I don't see no fuking hat.
I
went through the trouble of putting an actual hat on, you son of a bitch. You go put a hat on.
I am impressed by your commitment to the bit.
You told me to put on a serious hat, so I took it seriously and put on an actual... You can't see because I don't have my thing.
That's right, Andrew.
Webcam, but...
That's right. That's exactly what you needed to do. You committed, and I'm very happy that you did that. But let's get serious for a moment. Thanksgiving. It is being pushed out of society, and I will no longer stand for it. Chad from Respawn Aim Fire, the so-called Sir Christmas. Ugh. Him and Thanksgiving in the same sentence. I can't believe I said that. Gross. So-called Sir Christmas is fighting for Christmas to start November 1st? Are you kidding me? This is Thanksgiving month. I am tired of Christmas decorations going up, Mariah Carey on the radio. You have a whole month for Christmas. Thanksgiving never gets its month, and y'all still celebrate it. Y'all still eat turkey on the second last Thursday of November. But do you celebrate it? Do you anticipate it? No. Where are your turkeys? Where are your little origami turkeys on your shelf? Where are your Thanksgiving lights? They exist. Brown, orange, and yellow. Thanksgiving colors. Put those lights on. I'm glad I have my boy Matt, Prince of Thanksgiving, fighting alongside of me. This is for you, Matt, because I have donned myself as Mr. Thanksgiving, because I will no longer stand for this injustice. Christmas gets its own month. It doesn't need to. Thank you. That is my opening statement.
Alright. I guess it's time for me to throw my serious hat into the ring. Alright, there we go. It's thrown. I'd just like to say, fuck Thanksgiving and fuck you. I'd like to give a formal declaration. But nah. In all seriousness, though, let me get my serious hat back on. Hold on.
Hey, you put that serious hat back on.
I'm fucking doing it. Just wait. Yeah. Got the serious hat back on. Alright. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest.
Be honest.
I just said I was going to if you'd let me do it.
Okay.
No, damn it! I have the serious hat on.
Serious hat.
I'll be completely honest. For various reasons, I don't like Thanksgiving. In fact, I would go so far to say I dislike it. Thanksgiving killed my father. So got some trauma that I'm dealing with right now. So
Thanks,
I can't
Andrew.
I can't say that I fully.
I respect that, but I need your resignation letter. I need it in my office by tomorrow morning. I'm sorry,
I'll
man.
be sure. I'll be sure to get that in. Don't worry. But like I'm not big on Thanksgiving. I don't like turkey. So
I
I
don't
don't
even
eat
like
it.
turkey either, but I love Thanksgiving.
I don't like turkey. I don't like being around a bunch of people that I barely know. I don't like having to be roped into political discussions because that always fucking happens.
That is
Uh,
true.
Thanksgiving is just like ignoring the whole "killed my father" comment. Like this is actually me being serious right now. The Thanksgiving Day has always been like something I kind of like. It's not something that I'm like, oh god damn it, why do I have to do this? But it is something that I have some small level of dread for these very reasons. Obviously, I'm not like a very social person, so I just don't like being crowded in a small house with a bunch of people as it is. And that's usually always what happens to me when that day arrives, and it's hell. Uh, I'm not big on Thanksgiving, but that being said, uh, I'm not big on Christmas getting more power than it already has. So I don't like Thanksgiving, but I don't want to see Christmas take it over either. So while I won't say, well, I won't change my fucking Twitter handle and join the battle. I will say that you have my support and my luck in your
My
endeavors
axe.
to my serious hat in your endeavors to keep the spirit of Thanksgiving alive, my friend.
Now you have my respect. I can respect if you don't like Thanksgiving that much if you're willing to fight against Christmas not getting 2 months.
Yeah, yeah.
I before like we need to cut this bit, but like I like Thanksgiving because even if you don't go out with your family and celebrate it, like I don't think that's the spirit of Thanksgiving. Like a lot of it, yeah, is spending time with your family, but I do enjoy the
It's all
just
about the turkey.
no, dude, turkey sucks. Like I love Thanksgiving ham, but like I just and pumpkin pie. Ooh. But like I like the idea of Thanksgiving being that day. It always has a special vibe to me of just like yeah, any day, every day you should be thankful for everything, but it's just kind of nice having one day where it's like all right, I can reflect on my life and kind of just think about the things I genuinely am thankful for. Like depending on your family and like what they do, like sometimes like I like having the little speeches of being like if you're with your close knit family, not like your third grandma, your third cousin, like who cares? But like getting with
My third grandfather's cousin. Yeah, I'm familiar with him. He creeps me out.
exactly. But like if you're like with your very close family, it's like having the little speeches like, oh, this is what I'm thankful for. I'm glad you guys are in my life, or just like even if you're by yourself and just like thankful for your life and look back and like have a moment to just relax and just be like it's okay, dude, like life is fine, you have these great things, like you can keep going. Like I've always liked that vibe. Like I love Christmas too, don't get me wrong. Like my fight isn't that I hate Christmas. Like Christmas is a
Bah
very
humbug!
Christmas is a very like special holiday for me as well, but it's like I've always just loved Thanksgiving as my favorite because it's just I don't know. I like being thankful.
Yeah, I get that. It feels kind of like the sort of like the opposite of like how New Year's operates with in terms of like its New Year's resolutions, because how you're describing Thanksgiving and being thankful, looking back and being thankful for what you've got and what you have been given, and then New Year's resolutions is like more so like looking forward. It's more about like the
Mm-hmm.
future. So like setting goals for yourself and stuff. Like let's get all right. Let's get this stuff. Let's get this bread. So
True.
I,
I mean, that's
I
a good way of looking at it too. It's like you can start the year with New Year's and be like, this is what I want to do throughout my year. And then Thanksgiving could be like the big end of the year, kind of like, even though it's November, it's like, all right, how has my life changed after I've set these goals? Like, I'm thankful for these changes, type of thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
That's a good thing. That's a good way of
that is
looking
a
at
good
it.
thing. Well,
It
Andrew,
warms my heart to think about.
this is a video game podcast. We can make a Thanksgiving
This-
podcast if we felt like it, but this is the free-to-play podcast, going live every Monday, if we get
Give or
around to
take.
it. Yeah. What's our housekeeping? I don't even have the show notes up. Follow us on
Brett,
GG.
what the fuck are you doing?
Celebrating Thanksgiving. That's what I'm doing.
Does that involve not looking at the show notes? Because you got a mad case about pulling them up like 3 times before we started.
I didn't get on your case. I just said, hey.
You
have you
did!
refreshed them? That's all I said.
Yeah, getting on my case.
Follow
God.
us on GG. Like, I know with the new console season, I've been posting a lot on there. Well, not posting. Like, I'm about to start leaving reviews for the games I've been beating, but I've been doing a lot of, like, list reshakes and, like, play statuses and stuff. So follow us there. Links in the description for everything I say. Twitter is the F2P_podcast. Sometimes we really like to interact with you guys and, like, post little discussions and, like review opportunities. So follow us there. It's a fun time. Instagram, the F2P podcast. We need to post more there, but and then YouTube. If you're watching us on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, thank you. Maybe watch us on YouTube as well, because we've been doing video episodes.
Give us more attention.
Yeah, give us more attention. Look at Andrew's sexy icon. Also,
Me and my glorious floating orb.
True. I put a lot of work into these assets, so come watch. They're ever evolving. But with that, the PlayStation 5. I'm just so happy we got here, that we're at this moment. It just feels so surreal to me, and I still feel bad talking about it, even though this is I was gonna say it's my job when it's not. This doesn't pay me, but the podcast is.
This is my internship.
It's my internship. That's a good way of looking at it. But that's what I do here. What I'm supposed to talk about the console, but I don't want to come off as privileged or anything. So if you couldn't get a PlayStation 5, I apologize. And if I find an opportunity to post links to pre-orders, your boys got you. But in all seriousness, I hope they get more stock for a lot of people, around Christmas or so, because this whole thing really has been, I don't want to say it's a disaster. I think people say oh, the pre-order thing's a disaster because they didn't get one, when really it's just when you have 10 million or more people than that trying to get a new piece of tech, that's just kind of what happens, especially when you're buying tech.
I was gonna say, if it gets sold out, isn't that actually a good thing?
Yeah,
depending on the number.
It is for them, for companies. People just say oh, this pre-order thing was a disaster, when just because people couldn't get one, which it does suck. I do hate that people can't get a console on day one sometimes, but it's just you have millions of people trying to get a new piece of tech, especially during a pandemic. It's you're not gonna have enough stock for everybody. I hope this doesn't become a Switch thing where the Switch was that was out of stock for I don't even know. It was up at months. It was out of stock, and I was kind of mad about it because I remember I was about to get one time. We were going to the store to grab me one, and then they were sold out. So I had to wait a whole another year before I finally got one. Sorry, I'm just doing something. Ooh, I flipped myself.
Whoa, shit!
Whoa!
It's a whole new podcast.
Whoa! Whole new podcast. But yeah, so I don't want to come off as rude, but I have to talk about this console because that is what we do here.
Don't worry about it. It's just another thing to be thankful for when Thanksgiving comes.
That's true. So that being said, dude, I'm so happy. Like I genuinely have not felt this happy in like a long time, and I know it's probably wrong of like having tech fill your soul, but it's like whatever. At this point, I'd like anything to make me happy. But it's like I've never had a console on launch before, so it's just like it feels really nice, especially with just it being PlayStation because I just love PlayStation so much. It's dope. The first night I got it, and this whole session is probably gonna be like an hour. So like Andrew will have timestamps for everything we talk about if you want to skip through. You don't want to hear me
That's what I do.
gush about everything. That is what Andrew do. But the first night was really fun because I was sitting there and I was kind of like just playing around with games and stuff, and then the boys at Respawn Aim Fire and all our friend group, we do game nights on Thursdays. So this week we're doing like Siege. So we started playing that and it was really fun. We did like it's unrelated to PS5, but we did like custom matches. So we're like it was like 3 against 3, like us against each other. It was really fun. But after that, it's just like a couple people left, and then the rest of us were just sitting in a party for like the whole night, just like being like, "Oh, bro, did you get this part? Did you get to this part in Miles? Like, how far have you gotten in Astrobot? Oh, hey, Holden, you've been playing Demon Souls. How's that? Like, oh, did you guys see this feature?" It's like it was just a really cool kind of like thing to just like, and I know before you because they got theirs like earlier in the day than I did, so I know they were like in party chat like unboxing and be like, "Bro, I just set this up, this is cool." Like it's just like a cool little kind of like moment to just be with the boys and kind of just like experience everything like on day one. Like it really just like feels like a really fun experience, and I was really happy about it.
Well, I'm happy that you're happy, my friend.
Yeah, I'm sorry you could not secure a pre-order, Andrew. Those pre-orders were pretty bad. It was hard
That's
to like
fine. There's
snag
always
one.
next time.
True. There
There's always the next pre-order.
there are some like stores that like have been getting stock periodically. You just have to like order it online, and then you could do in-store pickup. So maybe you can get a hold of one of those links at some point.
Maybe. I think I should probably realistically save a little more before I start looking into that, though.
True.
Yeah, it's getting to be the end of the year, so, like, bill companies and stuff are gonna start, like, not not withholding their, like, shut-offs anymore, so that's something to worry about. So I gotta start preparing for that. Dude, my fucking electric bill is, like, close to 2,000.
Jesus, dude.
I know. Because it's been getting super fucking cold, I guess. So, like, I guess the heat's been really ramping it up. And there's, like, a hole in the ceiling and stuff. So I imagine that's making it worse.
Dude, that fucking sucks. I'm sorry, dude.
It's fine. It's just another reason to get out of wherever I am, like, sooner. But we'll get there. Just gotta work at it.
He's currently located in Gotham City. He needs to get out.
Yeah, I know. Batman can't keep me safe from the electric company.
So, Andrew, do you have anything prepared of like any things you kind of want to like you're interested in about the PS5 that I can kind of like discuss?
It's bigger than I thought.
Dude, it is huge.
I know. I thought it was gonna be like people like kept comparing it to like Wi-Fi routers and stuff. So I didn't expect it to be that size, but I didn't like expect it to be like fucking like so much taller and even kind of thicker than like the last generation, because it looked like real slim and shit. With like I don't know what the word is to describe it, but like this design where it has like that like curve and stuff in it, it made it look so much slimmer like in the videos and reveals and stuff than it does like in person when you're actually looking at it. It's so tall and it's so thick.
It is such a like big console. So my TV, oh, I hit my mic. My TV stand setup right now is just 2 chairs because I need to go get my TV stand from my previous state. So I put the PS. I don't know why I paused. I put the PS5 like next to like on the floor because it has a stand, so it's fine. That thing is like it's just a normal like dining room chair too. That thing is taller than like the seat of the chair.
Jesus Christ.
It's big. I like it a lot. I've been going back and forth like since the reveal of do I like it, do I not. Sometimes I'm like, damn, this thing's sexy. Sometimes I'm like, damn, this thing's ugly. Holding it in my hand, like it is a sexy console. Like it is nice. There are still
I
some
like
things where
feeling it.
that is true, but there are still some things where I'm like, this is very weird. Like it's a very big departure from PlayStation of old, but I do enjoy it. Like this thing does demand your attention in any room it is in. Like I put it standing up. I don't really like it on its side, but like standing up, like it genuinely, like it does. Like the router jokes are legit. It does look like a router, but to me, like it also, like honestly, like I've had it. It looks like a pre-built PC, whereas the Xbox Series X looks like a PC as well. But that looks like, a case you could build in. Like you would build that case. Like the PS5 genuinely looks like a pre-built PC, which you could say like any console is technically a pre-built PC, but you know what I mean. If you've seen like it almost looks like my pre-built PC from like ROC, I think, or ROG, Public Game. Yeah. So like it almost looks like my PC. So like putting it on my desk to play Call of Duty Cold War, trying to like set that up with 120 hertz and with keyboard and mouse and stuff, like it looks like I got a PC on my desk.
Mm. Yeah, it seems like it would be like a little awkward to try and like put onto like a TV stand or something, like if it's like in the little shelves and stuff.
Mm.
And it'd be a lot easier to put it like by the TV or on a computer desk or something.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. When I get my TV stand in, I don't know where I'm gonna put it. Maybe I'll just stay on the floor. Like it could go on its side in the cubby, but I just don't. That's probably where I'll put it because I don't want it on the floor. But I just
It looks asymmetrical when you put it on its side because of the curvature and stuff,
Mm.
and I don't like that.
They give you a stand for it, so like it definitely can lay flat once you put that stand on. But it's still just like it's not. It'll fit in any cubby on its side. Like it's a very thin console, but it's also a very like if you put it on its side, that makes it really wide. So it should. If you have a small little cubby, then maybe not. But if you're just like it's out, if you don't have like drawers or something, it should fit in there. I'm so like I don't know. I can't talk. But it's a beefy console. I got the one with the disk drive, so it definitely does the thing where it just like goes down and then just goes like out.
Oh yeah, the disk drive looks like a little smaller than what I've seen before. I missed out on like the PS4 and all that stuff, so I don't know like how to compare those two. But the little disk drive thing looks smaller. So can the PS5 like actually play discs from other consoles? Can it play like PS4 discs?
Yeah, it's the same disk drive. Like it is that disk drive. Honestly, I've seen teardowns of it, and they generally just kind of slap it on the side. So it's kind of like, oh, well, we need a disk drive. So like they just kind of like slapped it on the side. But yeah, it plays PS4 games, plays 4K Blu-rays, like anything. It's a normal disk drive. I haven't used it yet because I'm still a digital guy, and then like obviously like sometimes I game share with my friends, so I just download games off of them. Big shout out to my friends. I don't like to get too personal on this podcast, but I have been appreciate the support of like a lot of my friends allowing me to game share off of them, so I can like play a lot of these games like and talk about them. So I do really appreciate it. You guys are the homies. But yeah, so like I just got the disc drive because I have a good bit of physical PS4 discs already, and then when I buy Blu-rays, I usually get them in 4K anyways, and I've never had a 4K Blu-ray player. I just always get that little like voodoo code, and I'll just watch it digitally. So it's nice to now have a 4K Blu-ray player. It's also really nice to like be able to use my console as media, because before I would just have to use my TV, which is fine. It was like there'd be some like I say fine, but like it is fine. Like it's genuinely fine to do that. But sometimes I would like to watch a movie on my console, but before you couldn't. At least on my base PS4, because I didn't get an Xbox S. I didn't get like a PS4 Pro or any of the mid gens. I just had a base PS4, and I have a VCR Xbox One, so I never could like stream in 4K. So it's kind of nice to be able to like we watched like a Normal Homes last night on the PS5 and was able to watch it in 4K. So that was lit. Which is like a very like weird thing to gush about, but just being from where I'm at was just kind of cool.
That does sound pretty cool. So I guess were the PS4 discs like similar in size to what the PS5 is now? Because again, I'm just the drive looks smaller to me. Maybe it actually isn't. I don't know, but
Yeah,
it looks a lot like smaller than me to me.
It's not smaller at all. It's like it's the same old drive. So like I said, any disc fits in it. Like the discs are like they're not gonna change the standard for disc. There's never gonna be a GameCube again, honestly.
Ah, damn.
GameCube
I miss
2.
the GameCube. I want that to be the next one.
Dude,
I want
imagine
the
like
GameCube 2.
imagine you get all these articles coming out of like the Switch is like the fast selling console ever. Nintendo doesn't even need to make consoles anymore. Just make handhelds and stuff like that. And then Nintendo reveals their next console, and it's the GameCube 2.
Dude, I'd buy it.
I mean, same. I mean, I'd buy anything Nintendo made, but the GameCube and 64 were my favorites from Nintendo. GameCube has like a really big place in my heart, even though I barely played it. 64 I played a lot more of, but I love the GameCube.
Yeah, I grew up with the GameCube. That was my console like through the years. So I have a particularly close attachment to that one in particular.
Hmm. It's a good console.
It is. You just gotta wait for GameCube 2.
GameCube 2. Alright, I gotta figure
That
out.
should be the announcer voice that says it.
So, dude, honestly, like, one of the big things to talk about is, like, it's been beaten to death. Like, this is, like, the thing that these new consoles are, like, pushing. But load times are so crisp on these, on these consoles. Especially, like, the PS5, obviously, is what I played. Miles Morales, that game, from cold boot, you will get to, like, swinging around the city in, like, 20 seconds or less. From, like, pressing the button, like, on the dashboard. Like, booting the game up, 20 seconds and you're swinging. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is, like, a big one where I was playing that on PS4 before this came out. And I'll talk about that game later in the episode. I have a lot to talk about. But that game literally would take almost a minute to, like, load after you die, or, like, to fast travel somewhere. It was getting so annoying because there'd be some places I would keep dying because I would walk into somewhere I was, like, under leveled for. So, like, I would have to keep waiting through these minute-long load times. On PS5, it's, like, once you press, like, continue game, you're in, like, 12 seconds. It's insane.
That sounds really neat. That sounds really neat to have to wait less time, because if there's one thing that I fucking hate, it's waiting. I'm very impatient.
I feel that. There is, like, a little bit in me that's, like, there'd be a couple games I boot up and I'm like, oh, that's a loading screen. There's still parts of me that I guess I went into this console and I'm like, I'm expecting this amazing experience, and there's still, like, it's still, I don't know. I guess I knew what to expect, because even when I got an SSD in my computer, I was hyped because everyone was like, dude, SSDs are the future, man. You can't have a hard drive. And that's still true. Like, screw hard drives at this point. But it was never, like, this big eye-opening, like, experience on PC either. And it's, like, on PS5, don't get me wrong, like, it's amazing. There's still some games that are, like, optimized for it that just load in, like, nothing. But there's still some games, like even Ghost of Tsushima, I was a little like the load times in that were still pretty fast. So I was expecting like no load times, and there's still like a few seconds where I'm sitting there like waiting, and I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, I guess I was expecting a little bit more, but it's still fine. Like it's still good. And then there's some games, even Ghost of Tsushima again. I hadn't played that in 4K because I played it on the base PS4. So I booted it up, and I expected to be blown away with graphics, and I'm like, oh. I mean, Ghost of Tsushima has always been beautiful, so it's still beautiful, but I guess I was expecting like a little bit more. It's fine, it's no big deal. That game runs really smooth on PS5 though, because now it's 60 FPS. But I don't know. I think there's going to be a lot of that this generation where it's like, oh, okay, a lot of this was marketing speak. Like, it's still cool, but like, I don't know. It's still not like amazing, but I'm still really enjoying it. Like, it's definitely a huge leap in technology. Like, when you find a game that has like optimized for these like optimized load times, it's insane. Like it's so fast, and it sucks that some games that aren't optimized for either console just load faster on Series X. Like that bums me a little bit, but the ones that like are like the Sony games. Why did I say Sony like that?
I don't know.
But like
Just suddenly got a whole different accent for a second there.
Honestly, I don't know why I said it like that. But the Sony games load like insanely fast, so I mean it's cool to see. Do you have any like hardware questions before like maybe I could start going into games and stuff like that?
I want to know about the controller. Yeah, I want to know about that because I heard these things about the triggers like actually like resisting and stuff, and I don't know what that is, but it sounds interesting. I want to know about that. Tell me about that. Do it, Brett.
All right. Let's talk about the DualSense. So,
that's what it's called?
Yeah.
Continue.
Yeah, I'm sure you know, most controllers were always called the DualShock something, except for PS3. They're like, oh, we're the 6-axis, and it's like, bro, this controller really sucks. Yeah, like, obviously, PS1 was DualShock 1, the PS2 was DualShock 2, but when the PS3 came out, they had the 6-axis controller. It's supposed to have, like, cool, like, gyroscope stuff, and it didn't have a rumble because of weird reasons, and everyone was like, what? And so later on, they just made the DualShock 3.
Yeah, I was about to say, because I only remember using a DualShock 3. I don't remember a 6-axis.
Yeah, that was, like, the first, like, launch controller for the PS3. It was weird. Like, it still was the shape of a DualShock 3. It just, like, they were trying to do, like, different stuff with it. And it didn't have rumble, and it's just kind of, like, dumb. But, obviously, and then DualShock 4, and then with PS5, it's like, oh, we're the DualSense now. And it's like, oh.
We're rebranding.
Yeah, it's like, I get why you're naming it that, but it's like, it's still going to be weird to get used to. But I will say, I never used to call my controllers, like, hey, I'm going to go grab the DualShock 4. But now I'm saying, like, hey, I'm going to go grab the DualSense. So, I mean, I guess it's kind of cool.
It rolls off the tongue better.
It really does. Like, I never would have said, hey, I'm picking up my DualShock 4. Or like, hey, I need to go to the store. Do you want to get a DualShock 4 or something? I don't think most people would say that anyway, but now I could be like, hey, I need to go pick up my new DualSense. Or like, hey, dude, how are you enjoying the DualSense?
Yeah. Hearing it more, I like it a lot more now because, first of all, it doesn't have the number attached to it anymore because that alone kind of like makes it just a little more like, I guess, kind of like worthless isn't the right word. Like worthless to say, like fucking, like just listing. It's like listing the version name specifically. Like you're not gonna like talk about that unless you're talking about another person who's like, deep into that like hobby with you, like, and you need to specify what kind of thing. But with the DualSense, it's a different name. It doesn't have the number. It rolls off the tongue better. It's a unique name too, like compared to the other ones. I don't know what the Xbox controllers are called if they have their own unique name, but the DualSense, I can hear DualSense now and be like, that's the PS5 controller. I know what that is.
Exactly. It does, like, it takes getting used to, but it does kind of like roll off the tongue a lot better. And I'm not saying I want like a DualSense 2, DualSense 3, but I'm enjoying.
No, because then we're just gonna go back and retread the same problems that the other ones had.
Exactly, it'd just be another DualShock situation. But all right, so let's get into the DualSense. I don't know how I feel about it. It all
Really?
depends. So I'll touch more on the game when I get to the games, but Astro's Playroom is an amazing tech demo for the controller. Playing that game, I like everything. Well, I like haptics in any game. I think the haptic feedback is it's pretty much Rumble and like HD Rumble on steroids. It's like they depending on what companies want to do with it, you can have a Rumble in any section of the controller. So if they needed you to like have a small little tap like in the left side, like you would feel that like when you're playing Astro's Playroom, you feel the raindrops. Like if he has an umbrella, you feel like the different texture of the raindrops on the controller. Like I was playing Miles Morales, and like sometimes like when you touch a keyboard, like you'll feel like a few little clicks in the controller. Like haptic feedback is really cool. Like I genuinely think like they could do really cool stuff with it. Like in Astro, they also use it for like footsteps, and you can tell when he's in the water or when he's on sand, when he's on wood, kind of thing. Like it's cool.
Huh.
One thing that I think is cool but needs to be used differently is the adaptive triggers. That's the one where it has the tired excuse of pull the bow back on the trigger and you'll feel the tension. So far, I've used it in Astro's Playroom. I think Bug Snacks had a little bit of it. Miles
The fuck
Morales.
is Bugsnax?
We'll get into Bug Snacks. Like, have you not heard of it?
Okay. No, I haven't.
Okay, we'll get into it. But I've used it in Bug Snacks, Miles Morales, Astro's Playroom, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. It's fine. I hate it in Miles Morales because they do this thing where they try to simulate you like you'll push the trigger back and then it'll just get stuck for a second because you have to push it back. Like I get they're trying to like make it to where you're like cutting the web off the shooter, but it never feels immersive to me. It just feels like my trigger is stuck. So like I hate it on Miles. I don't turn it off because it's like whatever. But
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you have like the options to turn that kind of stuff off if you don't like it?
yeah, you can if you want to. So like if you're playing COD, and, like you're playing competitively and you don't want to deal with that, you can. It's fine. But so let's get into COD. I played it in there too, and I don't. I'm going back and forth on it because I think it's a great concept, and I think it is cool because like they mimic it for like each type of gun. So like submachine guns, ARs, like they'll all kind of like have a different trigger intensity because they try to emulate pulling a trigger back. So like I do kind of like it. There's a part of me that does kind of like that. I'm like feels like I'm pulling a trigger, like not in like a weird kind of like weird kid kind of way, but
It sounds like a cool concept on paper.
yeah, it's, for some reason they do it for L2 as well. So like the aiming trigger, like I don't understand why I need resistance to aim, but whatever. But like pulling back, like pulling R2, like it feels kind of cool, but it still kind of just feels like I'm stuck a little bit instead of feeling like there's tension. But it's definitely a cool idea that like the more I play it, the more I get used to it, and the more I'm like, all right, this is fine. Like I don't mind it. I liked it in zombies at least. In multiplayer, I don't mind it, but it's a decent feature that I am looking forward to seeing get it. I'm looking forward to see it get handled a lot more in the future. Like it's a very novel concept. It's just I haven't been wowed by it.
Of the games that you've played using that feature in particular, like which one do you think like uses that feature the best?
Astro's Playroom. That's like the pack-in game for the PS5. Like you get that free installed on every PS5. So like
Oh, that's
that's
cool.
yeah, it is cool. Like it's a good game. That is pretty much the game that is like the dual sense of the game. Like it's generally like a cool platformer as well. Like it feels like a small game rather than like a tech demo. Like it's not a Wii Sports. Like it's like which Wii Sports is fun, but like this is like a small little platformer just on a smaller scale. But Astro uses it pretty well. Like you have certain segments where like you're in a rocket, so you have to like pull the triggers back a little bit to simulate like each trigger is like a rocket. Like there's 2 rockets, and like depending on which one you pull, you're steering the direction in another way. You have to use the gyroscope to like tilt the spaceship in a little way, and then you have like there's one point you have like a chain gun that shoots out like paintballs. So like you have like the trigger have a little resistance in that way. And like there's
paintballs, okay. For a second there, I thought he just pulls out a fucking chain gun out of nowhere. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the flow. I just found that funny.
No, you're good. But like, it is kind of cool, honestly. Like they do cool things with it. Never, I go back on it because never in Astro am I like, damn, this is a game changer with the adapter triggers. But in Astro, I'm like, oh, okay, I see what they're going for. It's cool. Like, I'm waiting for, like, oh, shit, this is a game changer. I hear they have adaptive trigger support in God of War 2018. So, like, when you throw the Leviathan axe. I haven't played it. Like, I played the game. I've beat that game. But like, I haven't played it on PS5 yet. I probably will in the next day or two. I just downloaded it last night. So, I will test that out. But I am looking forward to see what they do with it. I've yet to have a game that has me pulling a bow back, even though that's the tired example of it. Like, even I pulled up Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and that doesn't really have any adaptive trigger support.
I think it might have been talking about that for something like Horizon, because isn't there a new Horizon game coming out?
Oh yeah, that'll definitely be used in the new Horizon. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was just saying that, like, I think that's what they're, like, that's going to be the main comparison that they make, which makes it suck that it's, like, not a thing that's currently out right now, so, like, you can actually feel for yourself right now the main example that they're using.
True. Yeah, it'll definitely be in the Horizon for sure, but it's, like, I was surprised that even Ghost of Tsushima, like, a first-party game, like, that didn't really have any adaptive trigger support, but it's like, alright, it's whatever. I don't really care at this point. It's cool. And one thing I do want to talk about that is an issue that I see a few people talking about, but not a lot. The PS5 is very weird when it comes to backwards compatibility and downloading games. So, any of your PS4 games will work. Like, you can use them, download and play them, whatever. But there's some games where they have a PS5 version that you get for free, or for COD, like if you pay that extra $10, you get the PS5 version. But when you go to download it, a lot of times it'll be the PS4 version. They don't tell you that you have to like go into the store, go press the 3 little dots next to the game, and like click the PS5 version. Because a lot of times it defaults on the PS4. And then sometimes when you download it from your library, it defaults to the PS4 version. Like, you have to go into the store and, like, go deep into it and find that PS5 version. Like, it's so weird. And even when you download, like, Miles Morales for the first time, it'll download PS5 and the PS4 version. Like, I was telling it to my friend Chad, and he was like, oh, that's so weird. And he goes into, like, his extended storage, and he was like, oh, it did that to me too. I didn't even pay attention to it. It's like he was like, I was wondering why it told me the game was ready twice, because they also have this thing where it defaults to, if you have a extended hard drive in there, PS4 games will default download to the extended drive, which isn't that bad of a feature. But I used it for a while, and then I wanted to download God of War, and I was like, yeah, I'm turning this off because I want this on the SSD, and I don't want to have to take 10 minutes to like move it, because dude, I moved 5 games at once to my external, from my external to my SSD, and it took like an hour. It took way too long. Like, that whole process is just kind of dumb. But yeah, and it's just kind of like, it's annoying, that whole like backwards compatibility system. It's like they didn't hammer it out as well as Microsoft being like, okay, smart delivery. If you download Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will be getting whatever, like, the console will know what system you were on, and it will download that version. For PS5, it's just kind of like, oh, this is a PS4 game, let's download the PS4 version. But if you go into the settings, there's a little PS5 version you can. It's like, it's just dumb. And then the thing that annoyed me about Valhalla, and like it obviously any game that you've played on PS4 has a PS5 version will run like this as well. I played Valhalla a lot before the PS5 came out. A game shared off of Buddy. It was really fun. Had a lot of time playing that on PS4. So when you go into games on PS5, it's a separate trophy list. It's a separate like whole thing once you download it. Your save file's there. That's fine. But the playtime will be different. Like I have like I have one thing of Valhalla that says I've played for 10 hours and another that says I've played for 2. And then it doesn't even sync my trophies either. So like all the story-based trophies I've done on PS4, I'm going to have to make a new save and do them again on PS5, which also sucks because you can't have 2 saves in Valhalla. So I don't know what I'm going to do.
Hmm.
So it's very dumb, and I really wish like they're the same game. Like part of me likes that separate trophy list so I can like get 2 platinums, but Valhalla is not a game I'm getting 2 platinums in. So it's just kind of like, come on, man. Like if you see I have trophies in this game and you're upgrading me to this version, why can't I don't know. I guess I get it on paper. It's just kind of dumb, especially like when you launch a game a week before. For most games, it doesn't matter, in my opinion, if your trophies don't carry forward. Like people want their Spider-Man 2018 trophies to carry over to the remaster just because they want that trophy to pop in 2 seconds. Like, no, that's dumb. But for a game that launched like a few days before the PS5, and when you've been telling people get it on PS4, play it, it'll carry over to PS5, that's when I expect my trophies and stuff to carry over. Like, why? You're telling me to play it on PS4 and my save and my stuff will be there when I carry over. Why does my trophies not then? Why are you telling me to play it there? It's dumb. It's dumb, Andrew.
I would assume so. Are there any other like sort of issues? I guess with like what do you call it? The UI, you know, that the whole like menu thing, just in general. Like I know like the whole like PS5 version in like trophy things or issues, but like are there any other like troubles with having to navigate to certain places or anything like that?
The UI, I like it and I don't. There are points where I'm like, this is fluid, this is nice. The card system, the quick menu, that's cool because I can be in a game and I can quickly go to this. And there's other times where it feels restrictive and clunky. Like I do like that there's an option to hold the PlayStation button and it just takes you to the dashboard, but sometimes it feels a little like clunky to me. And there's just some times where it's like I don't think they need to overhaul it. Like don't pull an Xbox, like don't change the UI, like what's the word? I don't know. Don't change like the idea of the UI. I feel like it needs tweaking because as it is right now, it's a little bit hard to navigate, and maybe that's a new console thing, but I mean you can get used to anything even if it's good or not. So like that's not a good comparison to say like, oh, you'll get used to it, because you can get used to crap. Doesn't make it less crap. But it definitely, like, there are times where I'm like, where the fuck is this at? Like, how do I do this thing? Like, why am I going through different menus? And I'm like, oh, I'm in the cards now when I wanted to go to a different thing, when I wanted to go to the home screen, or I want to go back to the game, and I have to go through the switcher, or I have to press, like, hold the PlayStation thing. It's like, it's definitely very cool, and it's also a little bit clunky. But that's not to say I don't like it though, because it does like some very cool things. I do like the card system on a lot of it. Like when you get into the hang of it, like I know like the first night we were all playing Siege, there was a few of my friends that like didn't notice like the party card was there till, so they thought to go into the party you have to go to the game base and like go to a full screen menu and then do this and then find the party. When I'm like, no, like if you're in a party, the card is right there, and that's really cool. But also, there's a few things that are hidden. Like, where the frick are my messages? Like, I feel like it takes so many menus to like get to my messages if I can even find them. So like, it's a weird system that I think works, but needs some tinkering a little bit. Like, I like how it is, but it definitely needs some like TLC to get it a little bit like crisper. Like if we get like a 1 year update, like there are definitely some things I'd like to see tightened on it.
I was gonna ask, do you think they'll like do any sort of like hot fix or anything like maybe not so far as like a year away, but like maybe after the first few months, do they do that with their console stuff?
Sony has always been. It depends. For features, no, I don't think we're gonna get some of these missing features until like 2 years until the console. Like, well, I appeared for a second, but like there are some features that like I don't think we're gonna get until the console's about to like turn till the PS6 is gonna come out. You know, like that's kind of how they work. Like I don't think we're getting folders again for a long time. I don't think we're getting themes until the PS6 is about to come out. But I think there's a chance within this first year that they'll hear feedback, they'll listen to everything and be like, all right, we don't want to do this, but we still don't want to change the UI, but we can tighten things up here. We can like make a few fixes. Like they've definitely done that. They definitely have changed the UI for the better or for the worse when they added that media app on the PS4. Like that was fucking horrendous. Also, the media tab on PS5 really good. It was horrendous on PS4. So like, I hope they don't do something like that again. But like, they definitely have like updated things and like tweaked things and made things go like a little bit better. So I'm looking forward to seeing it get tightened up a little bit. Like they've already said they're working on like the party system for PS4. So hopefully that means tightening up on PS5 as well. So we'll see. We'll definitely see how it plays out.
Okay. Well, I hope things get better for your experience soon, and possibly mine. Possibly. Just depends on how things go on my end.
Andrew, if you don't get a PS5 by the end of the year or very beginning early next year, I will rob a bank for you.
I thought you were about to threaten my life.
That too.
I will fucking end you. You have until the December 31st to get yourself a goddamn PS5.
Treat yourself, bitch.
Or else.
Overall, my impressions on the PS5 are very positive. In some cases, I don't think it's a step back, but it definitely comes down to the UI feeling somewhat restrictive while also feeling cool. That definitely, I don't want to say hinders my experience, but it does make me feel like, yeah, there are some kinks. There are some like things to work out. Like it's not fluid like I've come to know my PS4 as. And by fluid, I just mean like I know where things are and things are in a good place. By no means are any of the actions on PS4 fluid. Like that hard drive, by the fucking end of its life cycle, was barely chugging on. Like, I don't know how much you've played on PS4 or like VCR, Xbox One, but like especially the PS4, like to get into like a party or like look at your messages or something, go to your library, sometimes would take like 30 seconds to a minute to just like load into that menu. It's snappy on PS5. Like every menu I think is gonna take a little bit to load just kind of like snaps. I don't know how to snap, so, but like it just zooms so fast. So there's definitely some little bit of like, damn, I left a system I know very well to come to a system where it has some kinks. I'm gonna have to get used to it over the years, but like overall, I love it. I love the load times. I love these games I'm about to talk about. I am loving my experience. I think the new store is pretty nice. It just needs some more tabs. Like there's a section for PS5 games, PS4 games, and then like VR games and stuff. Like PS5 games, okay, there's only like 30 games there. But PS4, there's like 4,000 PS4 games. Like there needs a little bit of like they need some more tabs, some like sections, some like folders and stuff in that store.
Subtags, subgenres.
Exactly. Like they need some more stuff. Like the store being baked into the UI, I enjoy. Like if you go to like buy a game, I test like almost went out to like I didn't get the chance to buy any games yet because I'm broke as fuck. But like I tested like buying like DMC, and like by the time you get to your credit card information, like before you like click off that menu because you're a broke boy like me, like it's so fucking fast. It's like, all right, you're buying it, okay, have fun. And it's like, oh damn, on PS4 it was like, oh, 30 seconds, put in your credit card. Oh, 40 seconds. Do you want? Okay, do you want to download them? Hold on, let me like figure out how to download things. Like, it's so fast. It's insanely fast.
That sounds nice.
Yeah, I don't know why I always like go on a tangent and then I immediately stop. I know I hear you, like I can hear the gears in your brain being like, shit. Does he want me to talk? What do I say?
You can hear them fucking grinding up against one another as they're going in directions they shouldn't go.
True. So is there any more hardware things you're curious about?
I don't think so. I like when you look at the console and the controller. If you look closely, you can see that like some parts of like the textures of it, like on the white plates and stuff, they have all the little like face buttons for the PlayStation. I think
It's
that's
really
really
cool.
nice.
They're very
Yeah.
small. I always saw people like taking microscopes to them and like just like magnifying glasses, and I'm like, bro, why? Just look at it. But like actually having it, I'm like, shit. Like you can see it if you really look at it, but it's still tiny. Like I forgot
It's
it.
very
Like I
subtle.
knew, yeah, I knew it was a feature, but by the time I got the console, I didn't notice it until like last night. I was like, oh shit, this is a thing, and I showed it to my girlfriend. She's like, oh, that's cool. Like she couldn't see it for a while because it was like so like even when I was telling her to look for it, she's like, what? And like it's just very subtle like there. Like you have to like put your eyes on it to notice that it's not just like random grip. It's cool though.
If
Like
if you brush your fingers up against it, can you feel like the difference in texture, or is it just like all flat on there?
it's kind of just flat. Like
Uh,
they're so tiny that you're not going to be able to feel the difference. Like I think maybe if you sit there for a few minutes like trying to trick your brain into it, but like if you go to touch anything, like you probably have like 50 like symbols on your finger. Like if you put your finger down on there, you're probably touching like 25, 50 symbols.
all right, all right. That's cool. I like it.
Yeah. I'll get into games for a second. Like I don't want this episode to go so long, so I think over the course of this next year, like I think it's going to be a slow news year anyway. So I think I might still do I'm thinking about doing next week's episode like Miles Morales and Valhalla like review where I really like dig into them. But I'll definitely give some like early impressions of a lot of games now. Miles Morales is a amazing game. I beat that last night or the night before, or was it? No, yeah, it was the night before. Like, fantastic game. I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. I loved Spider-Man 2018 to death. That was an amazing game. I like Miles Morales a little bit more. Like, I think they're both comparable. They're both an amazing game. But Miles Morales is just, it's so butter smooth. The combat is really fun with, like, the added Venom powers and everything. By Venom, I mean electricity, not, like, not the fucking monster. But
I was just gonna say, did you just spoil something?
no,
Does fucking Venom make an appearance?
he does not. But
Alright. Well, dang it, you spoiled it. Now I know that he doesn't. Shit.
do you though?
No, I don't.
Exactly. I'm keeping you on your toes. But fantastic game. Like they cut a lot of fat out of 2018, and it's like it's not to say that 2018 was bad. It's kind of like when I say that, it's like I don't think Spider-Man 2018 was a bloated game. I just kind of, when you look at it in comparison, like I like a lot of the slower elements of 2018. I like the long story, but you can't help but be like, okay, yeah, they cut this out from Miles, but like it helps the pacing. Like it helps, like Miles doesn't need all these gadgets that you barely use. Even out of the 4 gadgets they give me in Miles, I only use really 2 of them, and then use your Venom powers, and then I barely used my camouflage either. So it's like cutting that out, and then like I beat the game in about 7 to 8 hours. I did a little bit of side stuff, but like barely. It's a definitely a shorter experience. I didn't feel sad when I beat it. I mean, like, about the length. I was definitely crying at the end of the story, but like I didn't feel sad that it was over. Like I wanted more, but I was fine. Like, you know, like even like Greg Miller talks about it, he's like I wanted more, but I was satiated. Whereas when he talks about like Astro's Playroom, he's like I want more and I'm not satiated. Like it was a small experience. But like I agree in Miles, like I want more, but I'm satiated. Like I'm fine. Like I would enjoy a DLC. I would enjoy a longer story, but with what I was given in Miles, I'm perfectly okay. Like I love the story. I don't think it needed to be longer. I don't even think it needed to be shorter. It was the perfect length. It did what it needed to do. It got in, it got out. It There is a trophy that like I want to get the platinum. So there's a trophy where you have to complete it in New Game Plus, which is kind of pissing me off, but it's like, okay, I'll play it again. I don't mind too much. Like I can probably beat it in 5 hours if I skip the cutscenes. So like, all right, let's go. I guess that's it. I was gonna do something else, but like, it's a perfect game, and I'll talk more about it at some point. Like at some point, I think I'm going on Respawning Fire to like do a spoiler cast. So if you want to hear my thoughts, go check it out over there. Actually, next week I'll be on a review of the PS5, so that's gonna be dope. But yeah, I don't know. And then Astro's Playroom, I talked a little bit about it. There's not much to say, so I'm gonna skim past it. But it's a really fun. Like I'm about to beat it. It's short, but it does what it needs to do. I would love a full Astrobot like platformer. Like obviously there's the VR one, but like I would love a full game in this style
Oh
of Astro's
yeah, he
Playroom.
did have a VR one, didn't he?
Yeah.
That's how I know about it. The name was familiar and I didn't know what it was. But then I was like, "Oh yeah, it was a fucking VR platformer where you were like the camera like going around and you were
Mm-hmm.
using like I guess the move controllers or whatever or just a regular ass controller to just to move the character around, but you were the camera going all around the place and that was interesting."
Yeah, I hear that Astrobot Rescue Mission. Like I hear that one's like a really amazing platformer, but I never got the chance to play it. But like I would love a full game in the style of Astro's Playroom. Fantastic little platformer. Does what it needs to. It gets out. I'd like more, but like for a pack-in game, fantastic. Like it's genuinely fun. Like put aside all of the like ooh controller propaganda. Like put that aside, and it's like it's a fun game. Like it's not very complex. Like you have like 3 attacks, but it's fun. It's a fun Nintendo. I was about to say Nintendo nostalgia. Fun PlayStation nostalgia game. Like they give you like little artifacts where you pick up a PS2 or you like pick up like a PSP like GPS attachment. And you're like, that's cool, I guess. Like just
Man,
fun little
remember the
stuff like that.
PSP?
Remember the PSP? It wasn't a bad
I
console.
It wasn't. I had Mega Man powered up on it and I really loved that game. I also had Ape Escape Academy. I don't remember it as well. And I
I had
think the
a
Simpsons movie game, but those were like the only games I ever had for it.
I had a game called Death Junior that like no one has ever heard about apparently because I can never
I've
like
never
find
heard of
someone to
Def
talk about
Jr.
it. Dude, like you need to look up a gameplay, like download an emulator. I know they have a ROM because I've played it like on PC, so play it. That is my recommendation to you and anybody else watching. Death Junior. Go play it. I expect to hear about it next week.
Alright, cool. That's your homework, everybody.
I was about to say it, Andrew, that's your homework.
But 3DS games.
That's your PSP. That's your primary console. That is your handheld of the week, is a PSP, Andrew. Handheld of the month, because this is PlayStation month.
That's what we're calling it now. You thought it was Zelda month, Mario month, Fantasy month? No, PlayStation month. Fuck you.
I was gonna say, I feel bad that I've been so like enthralled with PS5. Like I was gonna play Link to the Past this month, but I completely forgot about it. It's like the month's only halfway over, so I still can, but I don't think I'll be able to get to it. Oh, I don't even have my Switch anymore, so can't really do that.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Why?
When you become an adult, you have to make hard decisions, Andrew.
I thought you were about to say, I don't have time for this childish fucking kids console anymore.
I'm a PlayStation guy. Hey.
I'm a man. I play the PlayStation.
No. Hey, this mug also has another side to it. A little PlayStation logo. It's kind of cool.
Oh, that's cool. That's a novel thing. How novel.
Let's talk about bug snacks. Andrew,
Yeah, what the fuck is that?
look up a trailer for bug snacks
Alright, fine, I'll do that.
while I talk about it.
Yeah, just do that at the same time. Okay.
Bug Snacks was this game that was showed off in the PS5 reveal event. It had this catchy song that everyone was obsessed with. And I'm like, alright, looks fine. It's by the guys that made Octodad, so Young Horses. I was like, alright. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad. It's just like, looks like a kooky little game. Everyone likes the song. It probably won't be a good game, though. It's like Young Horses, yeah, they're good, but I don't know what to expect about it. And then we got a little bit more gameplay of it. I'm like, all right, catching bug snacks. It's like, is that what the game's gonna be? Like, it looks fine. I'll play it, but it's like I'll get it at some point. And then they announced that it was gonna be free with PS Plus this month. So, day one, I'm so burpy. I hate this. I'm so gassy. It hurts.
God, you gotta stop, man. We have a show to record.
I do have to stop, but day one on PS5, it was free with PS Plus. I'm like, shit, I'll download it. So it had been sitting there for a couple days. I booted it up last night, started playing with my girlfriend, and like, I'm not obsessed, but I like it a lot. Like, I do find myself, like, it was even funny. I don't have a lot of these experiences, but it's kind of fun going up to my girlfriend being like, oh, hey, when you fell asleep last night, I found this thing. Like he was looking for his wife, and I found her last night. She's like, oh, her? And I'm like, yeah, dude. Like, it's just kind of like, I don't have a lot of those experiences, so it was kind of like nice to like want to talk about something in the morning, you know? It's more than I expected it to. Apparently it has a little bit of like dark undertone, a little bit. Like, everyone thought it was gonna. Apparently reviews say like it barely does, but like it gets a little bit into like, I don't know. Some people are saying like, hey, if you want to play with your kids, maybe don't play one part of it. So I'm like, oh, what is that going to be? But so far, it's very character driven. Like, have you looked up the trailer yet?
I'm looking at it. Oh, hi. Hello. Fucking jump scare, I guess. It has some dislikes, doesn't it? It has 6.2k dislikes.
Damn.
Why?
It's probably people like being like, bro, shut up with the song already. I don't care. But it's very character driven. I thought it was just gonna be like, go catch some bug snacks for 6 hours. And there's a lot of that, but I'm very invested in the characters. Like, they all have some like thing going on with them. Like you get into the basic thing is like you get into Snacksburg and you're looking for uh Elizabeth and she's gone. So like you kind of get there and like civilization's kind of like uprooted. Like without Elizabeth, everyone wanted to go their own ways. So you're kind of like finding everyone in different parts of like Snacktooth Island, like trying to like get people to come back to Snacksburg, and like you're dealing with a lot of their personal issues. Like you have like this like one I want to discuss, not discuss, but like example is like you meet this dude like Wampus, and like he's having problems like you hear him talk about his wife and you're not really sure what's going on, and like you find out they had like a lover's quarrel or something, and like you sneak on him in the middle of the night and you see him like talking to a cactus that he dressed up like her, which is like like you do it. That's a quest you're doing for like the Beffica, who's like this millennial, like, oh my god, ooh, I need dirt on people, this is so funny, OMG type of thing. But like you do that quest and like you find him just like missing his wife. I'm like, shit, dude. Like it's not like very deep, but it's still like for a game that looks like a kid's game. Like there's a lot of these moments where I'm like, this could really be taken like in a serious kind of like undertone that I really enjoy. It definitely makes me want to go through it more, just to like see what's happening with a lot of these people, like some of them dealing with like depression and like shit like that. Like it is like really nice to see a nice little character driven story when I didn't expect one. And even the catching bug snacks side of it is kind of fun too. Like there's certain, like it's not, I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, you put a trap down, you get your bug snack. But there's a lot of like puzzles that go into it. Like there's one where like you have to, like there's these flying guys, and like how do you do that? So you have to get like this launch pad that you have, and then you put the trap on the launch pad. You aim the launch pad at the bug snacks, you shoot the trap off, and then when it's about to hit it, you close the trap on the bug snacks and you go down and grab it. There's like a few like that where I'm like, damn, like I didn't expect half of this stuff. This is actually kind of like intricate, and I'm kind of enjoying it. What's your takeaway, Andrew?
That sure does sound like a game.
It is indeed a video game.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. I don't know, man. Uh, I guess that sounds interesting enough. I mean, like, I guess that was a similar kind of case with Octodad. Not like the dark undertones or anything like that necessarily, but just that it looked like this pretty I guess it's a pretty interesting thing that people who did play it like found themselves more invested in it than they thought they would. Um, but I don't know that neither of these two IPs really like grabbed me or anything. Maybe I need to experience it first and actually like get into it or something. But I don't know. It just don't seem like the kind of route that I usually go down. So I don't have too much to say on the matter. But if you like it, then I am glad that you like it, my friend.
Yeah, I definitely get you. Like I wasn't a huge Octodad fan. Like I was like, oh, okay, it's a funny little game to watch Jacksepticeye play, but I don't think it's a bad game. Like no disrespect to Young Horses, it was just like it. I was never like, I think I was talking to Holden about it last night. We were dicking around on party chat for like 4 hours. It was fun, but I was talking to him and it was just kind of like, I'm not sure if I like wonky controls games where it's like, oh, you're an octopus, you're slipping all over the floor, you have to like control them in a certain way. It's just never been my thing. So it's cool to see like a departure in that with bug snacks. Like it still has this like, it's not normal by any means, but like it's still a basic flat screen kind of like game. You're playing with a controller, you're controlling a perfectly walking character. Like it's really fun. But Andrew, I've rambled for like a fucking hour. What have you been playing this week?
All right. Well, I know that we've been very, very in depth with our discussion over pretty much all things PlayStation, so might as well keep that train rolling with one of the greatest PlayStation hits of all time, Mario Party 1. Yeah, I've been playing Mario Party because I watched like the Game Grumps play a board of Mario Party 4, and I was like, I want to play Mario Party, so I decided to play Mario Party. So now I'm playing Mario Party, and yeah, I'm I'm sure playing it all
He's
right.
playing Mario Party.
I don't know if you've realized, but I'm playing Mario Party. It's
It definitely says Mario Party on the box.
It definitely does. So it's the first game in this long running series. You know, it's the first time that Nintendo has delved into the whole like making a party game kind of. So, you know, their first time. There's gonna be some. There's gonna be some things about it. All right, so it's a early game, so there's not a lot to it. There's 6 characters. You get Mario, Luigi, Peach, Yoshi, Wario, Donkey Kong. So you get those 6 characters, and each of the 6 characters have a stage associated with them because there's 6 stages or 6 boards in the game. You got the Mario's Rainbow Castle and DK's like Jungle something or whatever, which I did in the reverse order. I think Mario's board is supposed to come first, but I did DK's first. So, sorry to the Mario purists out there, Mario Party purists. So, I did those. There's Peach's birthday cake, I think it's called, and I just completed that one. That's the most recent one I've completed. And then I have Yoshi's Tropical Island, Wario's fucking Bob-omb Battle Yard Canyon or whatever, and then Luigi's Engine Room, which is the only 3-star board in the game, so I guess it's supposed to be really hard. I have been lucky enough to have not lost a board quite yet, but man, it's fucking Mario Party. So, again, it's the first one, so it's got some issues. For one, some of the AI can like really set you up for fucking failure. Like you may have a turn where literally everyone lands on Bowser and sticks you in a fucking bullshit Bowser minigame where everything is heavily weighted against you.
Launched a new video.
Oh, great. Thanks for cutting me off for that. Glad to know where your priorities lie.
I'm just kidding, man. I knew that'd be a funny little bit. Continue on with Mario Party 1.
It's fine. I get it. Unless you're Scott the Woz, talking about Mario Party for an extended period of time isn't all that interesting.
That was it. That was a good episode.
It was. I liked it. Sorry. Anyways, yeah, like there'll be turns where like literally everyone lands on Bowser and fucking like either they'll put a Bowser Revolution, which will get your like 160 coin count evened out amongst everybody, or they'll put you in a minigame where it's kind of weighted against you or something like that, or there may be a 1 versus 3 minigame that's a crane game and you're unfortunate enough to be the third person with the most coins, again like maybe 180 or something, so obviously the computer goes for you, and that crane game is fucking impossible as any of the 3 because there's no possible way you can fucking break out of that. It's inhuman. You can't do it because like maybe if it's 2 humans maybe it could be possible, but if a computer is the one and they grab you, you're not getting out. Your fate is sealed. There is no way you're getting out of it, so you lose so many of your coins to that other computer player, and that automatically guarantees them the fucking minigame star or whatever, which is the bonus star that you get for collecting the most coins from minigames, because they took a bunch of coins from you in that mini game. They take like fucking a third of it, so like 60 or something. They get 60 coins from a mini game at once, when you usually get like 10. So that gives them a very big jump start into the fucking minigame star that was wrongfully stolen from you because you've won most of the other fucking minigames, but it doesn't matter! Your skill means nothing. And then the very next turn, fucking Peach lands on a happening space, which switches the fucking Toad to the Bowser when you're right next to the fucking tower. So you're gonna lose whatever coins you have left because he takes like 40 coins from you, or all of your coins if you don't have quite 40. And you're already left hanging fucking dry because of DK stealing all those coins from you. So it set you up for failure, and it's like, that's fucking bullshit! So yeah, Mario Party 1, it's unfair. But
You
I
could
mean,
probably
I've been
say that
lucky
for
enough.
like every Mario Party.
Yeah, but at least for entries like Mario Party 2, I think Mario Party 2 and 3, for those games, you at least, I think, are able to have control over what you roll on the board. Like, dice rolls aren't predetermined. They for sure are in Mario Party 1. I've experimented, believe me. Uh, so for those, you could argue that it's maybe you maybe have a little more control over the goings on. You may not have control over what everyone else does, but you have more control over what you do, and as a result, a little more control over what happens to you. But Mario Party 1 is the first game, and they're still figuring shit out. So there's a lot of stuff that's really unbalanced. Like, pretty much every 1 versus 3, which, again, can be said for most Mario Parties, but every 1 versus 3 minigame is, in Mario Party 1 especially, is so fucking unbalanced. Like, there's this one fucking minigame where you're like in a Bowser suit or whatever against 3 people, and you can't do anything. All you can do is jump around and hope to God that you don't get grabbed or hammered or whatever by one of the other 3, and they beat all the fucking coins out of you. Because yeah, it's like one of those games where it shows all your coin counts, and it's the job of the other 3 players to fucking beat the shit out of you for all your coins, and to try and get as much of your coins as possible. Because I think, like, the coins they take from you, it isn't shared amongst the 3 of them. So it's still, like, the 3 of them battling against each other to beat the shit out of you the fastest. To get as many of your coins as possible. And it's a really good way to lose fucking everything. There's this other one where you're on, like, a tightrope or whatever, and you're very slowly walking down a tightrope, and the other 3 players just fucking belt you with fucking cannons just to knock you off of that tightrope. I don't know. I could rant about it for a lot longer, but it's Mario Party 1. It's unbalanced. That's all I gotta say.
At least you're not playing it on the 64, burning a hole in your hand.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. The fucking goddamn fucking control stick ones. I think I've only won one of those, and it was like the tug of war one. Because that shit is so fucking hard to do. Not only, thank God for, like, not having the N64 controller to work with there, because obviously if that was, they would have permanent damage to my fucking hands and shit, but it still hurts like hell fucking rotating that stick as much as you possibly can, and still losing. Like, you don't even get the satisfaction of winning after injuring yourself. Fucking, yeah.
Yeah,
whatever.
I'm kind of glad they had more, and the sequels they had more like mission variety rather than just, hey, spin the stick.
Spin the stick, fucking beat the shit out of this guy, take his shit, take his coins, leave him with absolutely nothing, make him homeless, make it so he can't pay his mortgage.
Bruh.
Alright, that's all I gotta say about Mario Party 1.
Oh, do I have to talk now?
Yes, do it. Move on. I don't want to do it for another 45 minutes.
What have I been playing? I'm gonna hold off on Valhalla. I think. You think I should go in on it?
I mean, what time are we at right now? An hour 36 minutes? I don't know. Do you want to go
So
for
like
2
an hour
hours and 30
20.
minutes?
I've been playing a little Black Ops 3 Zombies. It's fun. I don't know. uh, Doom, 1993. I was playing that on PS4 for a little bit before the 5 launched. Kind of just, I wanted some game to kind of play and just dig around in. I'm going for the platinum in Doom 1993. It
Is that hard?
Yes and no. It's fairly easy. There are a few grindy trophies, but it's not insanely hard. There's there's two trophies. There's one where it's like get 25 and then one that's get 100. So essentially you have to get 100 kills in deathmatch. Deathmatch is only local. You can't play it online. And I don't have friends. So I got a second
Don't
controller.
you have a girlfriend?
She was asleep.
I don't like her.
So I got a second controller and I just kind of like left it there and I went and just killed him like 100 times. But like the limit for each match is 25, so I had to do like 4 different matches. It took me like an hour and I was like, whatever. The things I do for trophies, am I right? But the rest are doable. Like there's one where you have to beat the whole game in 2 hours, which is not too bad because obviously like it counts based off like the times you've beat each level. So you can go back and redo the level if you want. It just like culminates all the like because when you beat the level it tells you the par time and how long you took. So it just culminates all of those. So that's good. That one's not inherently hard. Like I'm usually getting under par on a lot of those levels anyway. There's just one trophy that I have to get. You have to do cooperative, beat the game on Nightmare in cooperative play. So not only do I have to beat it on Nightmare, I have to play with a friend. Does it look like I have friends, Andrew?
I mean, none that can help you.
Exactly. It's only local.
Yeah.
So I either have to rope in my girlfriend or my roommate to help me.
Who's it gonna be? Who's the lucky winner?
Dude, I don't even know. But yeah, so it's not insanely hard, but it's annoying to have to do, to say the least. And then Assassin's Creed Valhalla. I want some of my impressions out there. Are you ready for it, Andrew?
Hold on. Let me fucking let me sit down for this.
Do you have a question you want to ask me? Is there any big thing you know about me and what I like about Assassin's Creed if you want to ask?
Hold on. Okay. Was the game shit?
Yeah. I'm just
All
kidding.
right. Well, there you go. Good night, everybody.
I like Valhalla. It is some of the most fun I've had in Assassin's Creed in a while. I'm just conflicted on like I'm about 10, 12 hours in. I've done a lot of side quests. The only like the latest I'm not going to spoil it, but for people that have played the game, I've only done one arc since I've established my settlement. And I think there's like the Grant to Brishshire arc. That's the only one I've done. I've done a lot of side quests as well after that. So, which even then they're not side quests anymore. It's just kind of like you have blips on your map. You have like wealth, artifacts, and discovery, I think. So it's like one of each. All those are like colored for each one. So like if it's gold, you're like you're getting wealth or something. And like artifacts, you pick up some of the discovery. It could be like a little quest or like a little tomb or something like that. Not a bad system, but I've done a lot of that. Done a lot of Viking raids and stuff like that. I like it. It definitely has a lot more Assassin's Creed elements than I was expecting. Like then we've been conditioned to think still exists. Like we've been conditioned to forget about like social stealth and assassins in general. So like it's nice to see like them make a return. I am really enjoying it. I will probably have some more time played by the time next week comes around to like have a full discussion about it. But it's a pretty lengthy game. I've heard people say like maybe 40 to 60 hours, maybe longer if you're doing side quests. So there's gonna be a few weeks of me coming in saying like I've played Valhalla. Here are my updated thoughts. But as of right now, like my early impressions on it is that I am enjoying it. It's fun. Like even the Viking stuff is really fun, but it's just so refreshing to see a bunch of Assassin's Creed elements back in the franchise again. Like I am ecstatic that like and it sucks to say. Like it's so weird because part of me wants to be like, shit, yes, it's back. I'm happy, but part of me is like, why did it leave? Like why am I getting excited about them pulling things away from me and then dangling it back in front of me like, hey, look, we're giving things that were the core tenets of the games to begin with. Now you're getting them back. Whoa, new additions. It's like, no, those were in almost every game for a while. Like, that's what made it an Assassin's Creed game. Now you're just, like, dangling them back to me, but I'm eating it up. I'll bite. You know, I'm enjoying it. So, I mean, I guess that's all I can really say so far. The story is pretty solid. Like, they're kind of splitting it up into, like, arcs where, like, you have to, like, as of right now, they're doing like little arcs where you have to go pledge alliance to like certain kingdoms to build up like your name and get allies and stuff. So you're going to like a different settlement, different kingdom to kind of like help them with whatever wacky quests they're doing and build like help them do their thing so that they pledge alliance to you and stuff like
Have you
that.
reached the tournament arc yet?
Tournament arc. I wouldn't be surprised if there actually was a tournament arc.
I'd be so excited.
Honestly, that's kind of my thing. I think we can end it here. I'm enjoying it. I definitely like want to play more. As of right now, it's hard for me to boot it up just because I feel like I have so many games. Fuck, I didn't even talk about Demon Souls. I guess I can discuss it next week, but like Demon Souls is really fucking fun too. But
I want to look forward to that one because that one's probably the one that's got my attention the most.
it's fun. What I've played of it, like so far, I've gotten to the point where you die, you scripted die for the first time, because you go through the first level and eventually you end up getting to a boss. I didn't die until I got to the boss, and then I died once, but they want you to die there. Apparently, you can cheese it and like you can kill the boss, but a few bosses just come up and kill you because you need to die there anyway. So, because they take you to this realm and they're like, oh, you need to go find your corporeal body, and it's like, oh, okay, I'm not here for the story, but okay, but it's fun though.
I don't need the story in my face. I need that environmental storytelling. Damn it!
Dude, honestly, the game's so fucking beautiful. Demon Souls is beautiful. I'm not even playing on performance mode. I'm just sitting at 30 FPS, but like I'm having fun with it. You know, I'm not mad about it by any means. Yep.
Well, that's cool.
Cool.
Yeah, it is. It sounds cool. I'm happy for you.
Anything else you want to discuss tonight, Andrew?
Let me think.
Oh yeah, we have a news thing, don't we? Do we have?
Do we?
Yeah, you remember?
Do you know what it is and how to talk about it? Cause
Yeah.
Alright, well,
This is a quick thing. I just find it funny. So Chad and Holden, a couple of my really good friends from Respawn Aim Fire, they were posting about how Google is now offering a Stadia like Founders Edition like for free for members of YouTube Premium. So if you have YouTube Premium and you've had it before November 6th, they're giving you a free Stadia Founders Edition. So they've been posting like getting their boxes, joking around, being like, "Shit, the new generation's here, boys."
shit. I wish I didn't use up my YouTube Premium then. I could have just used that trial up before that date.
I know, man. I wish I had it. Fuck.
Eh,
Like I do want it. Like it'd be nice to have a Chromecast. But even then, like I want to try Stadia. I mean, technically I could for free, but like because the free membership of Stadia is out right now. But I want that controller.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just kind of a funny thing. Like as much as I think Stadia is doing fine. We've talked about it when we talked about Luna. Like I get it's fun to like rag on Stadia and like they definitely like if you watch part one of like Holden's documentary of the grind, like and some of the things he's told me, like of what he wants to tell in the story, like of what they've done, it's like yeah, there's definitely some shit where it's like broken promises, like none of this that they've promised has come out, or like they definitely haven't done a lot of stuff. But like I said, I think Stadia could reinvent itself in 5 years and be great. But right now, like yeah, they're floundering, but I don't really mind because I saw it as a test drive. But this still like even saying that, this still strikes me as fuck. We have these founders editions that nobody bought. Like it's given to people with YouTube Premium. Maybe they'll like Stadia. Like I don't think this is them floundering for people to play. Like I think at some point they would have had to like at some point right now they're just focusing on like server up now, so they're kind of like planning for the future. But yeah, this does come off as like a little bit of desperation. Like shit, nobody bought these things. Let's just give them to people.
Hmm. Give them to me.
I give them to me too, Google. I'll actually play it.
I don't got shit else to do. Fuck, I'll give it a whirl.
I'll review Stadia. If you pay me $2,000, I'll say it's good.
Yeah, pull the Jacksepticeye.
What the fuck did Jacksepticeye do?
He got a paid fucking promotion for Google Stadia, and people really didn't like it.
People get too mad about people getting sponsors.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think it was so much like the fact that he was sponsored just in general, but I think it was. Well, I guess that is what it is, kind of like a sellout kind of thing, because Stadia's bad and shit, and Jack was here singing its praises and whatnot, and I don't know, like
People
were
people hate when people have a different opinion from them. And like I know I get too like defensive on this podcast and like attack people, but it's like, dude, people get so mad like, "Oh, you're sponsored by this and you like it? Well, I hate it. So you're doing fake reactions." Like, no, Stadia is a cool concept. Like everyone like mixes up cloud streaming with just like whatever dumb shit Google Stadia did. Like Stadia, yeah, needs work. But the idea of the basis of what Stadia does is awesome. Like, yeah, they handled its launch poorly, but like the basis of what it does is insanely cool. So yeah, of course Jacksepticeye is probably gonna like it because he has good internet and it's a cool like thing. Like, why? Who cares if you don't like it? It doesn't mean someone else does, and it doesn't mean someone else is just faking their reaction. It's just so dumb.
and even if they were, it's fucking money, man. We gotta eat.
True. It's just like I know I don't know the man's, and you can always like your idols could always just like turn on you, but it's at this point it's like I don't see Jacksepticeye as like a bad dude. Like he's always like been the forefront of like helping people and like being a good positivity thing. So like I doubt he's in the back being like, I guess I'll fake my reaction. I need this $2,000 from Google. Like no, I don't think he needs the money that much to fake a reaction for Google Stadia. I'm pretty sure he's fine. That wasn't even like the topic of the show.
Yeah, just kind of went off on a bit of a side tangent.
Well, Andrew, I'm tired. You seem kind of tired.
What gave you that idea?
We can reconvene next week, if that is okay with you.
Yeah, sure, I'm down anytime. I'm gonna get the serious cap off. It's making my head itchy.
You've had the serious hat on this whole time?
Yeah, could you tell?
Well, thank you for joining us on the Free to Play podcast. Next week will be more energetic because I will be high on ketamines. In the meantime, stay frosty. Follow us on every social media. Give us so much money. And stay safe. Peace out, y'all.